Hey, One Tree Hill fans, thanks for being here. So I just got done with the latest podcast for season 3, episode 1. Like You, Like an Arsonist. I think that's a weird title. And it was great to have all 3 ladies back in the studio again. And I think one of the things that stood out to me most on this podcast has to be about how they said Haley was really calm yet firm in talking to Nathan, and that really plays to her character. But they also mentioned how it kind of paralleled where Haley was now sure about Nathan. That's what Brooke wanted with Lucas. And I never made that connection either. It makes a lot of sense. And of course, nobody was happy to see Dan alive. So I'm going to watch this episode. Let's get into it. Oh my god, I do love the subterfuge on this whole, I do remember the subterfuge of always thinking it was Lucas. But it always makes you think, oh, it could be Deb. Oh, it could be Nathan. Oh, it could be Lucas. And then, with Haley showing up, and it was so funny, she's like, I want to come home. And I honestly wanted Nathan to be like, we have no home anymore. I left it. I don't have the apartment anymore. And, but he didn't. And then, when Deb, rushes by Nathan, we have to go. It's your father. It's urgent. And then, I so thought that they were just going to leave. I was so shocked when Deb was like, Haley, come with us. What? See, I know that boys and girls can be platonic friends. But when Peyton is like, Lucas, will you stay with me? It's like, ooh, I know why Brooke is so skeptical. They really did do a good job of making us think Lucas is the one that set the dealership on fire. Oh my god. They show up to the dealership, Deb and Nathan and Haley. And here comes Dan rolling out on a gurney, breathing into the mask. Everybody's shocked. But before that, you see Haley grab Nathan's hand, and it almost looks like he wants to, resist there for a second, and then he holds her hand too. Ah! Oh my god, I forgot about the bangs. I knew they were talking about it on the podcast, but I forgot what they look like. Our hair looked awesome. And that was hilarious, her thinking that Lucas was there for her with the flowers, and then of course he was there for her mom. And she's like, oh look, there's my cab. Maybe you can tell me you love me or something. Good way to turn it around there, bro. And Peyton's hair looks awesome too in this one. Oh my god. So yeah, I forgot about the time jump because it picks up right where I left off, and then we're boom, 3 months later. And I totally forgot that Dan had amnesia as far as he doesn't remember what happened the night of the dealership. He doesn't know who did it. He doesn't know what happened. It's just oh, that explains it. Because if I recall who I believe set the fire, he would be trying to kill them. Oh, oh my god. Nathan is so cold to Haley. Just that's great, but I'm leaving tomorrow, and unlike you, I'm taking my heart with me. Bye. Brooke is still having all pretty good lines. You leave for a couple months, and crazy moms start showing up on all these things you don't know. Aw, Lucas and Peyton's talk is so, it's sweet, but it's a lot of foreshadowing. And then, the guy that plays their dad in this, he does look like Jake. I never made that connection either. Aw, I'm glad we finally got to hear what Haley left on the answer machine message that Nathan deleted. And I know she's being honest, and I think Nathan knows that too. He's just really good at being aloof and stubborn and angry, kind of like his dad. So he has to deal with that. And then here comes Brooke when, Haley walks into the old apartment and sees the painted over picture of her face. And Brooke's pretty angry, huh? And it's just, she's so serious in that moment. And it's again, it's more foreshadowing of where her character goes as the show progresses. And when Brooke tells Haley, well, you might be staying, but you're not staying here. I just rented this apartment for me. She was kind of cold and aloof to Haley a little bit there, but I kind of get it. But then, like, it's such this catch-22 because it's like, why is everybody hating on Haley? Like, I know why Nathan is, but it's like, Haley took a shot that most people don't get. And it's like, she had to take that shot. She's young. That's the time to do these things. It's like, it's not like she's trying to be mean. She did something for herself. Why is it when the nice person finally does something for themselves, everybody hates on them? It's like, no, she did what everybody else is doing and took a page out of everyone else's book and did, or she did, you do you, boo. That's what she did. Mouth is helping Brooke move in. So this is where I remember kind of like Peyton really taking on the whole I don't like Haley crusade. And like they did say it on the podcast, something I also never really made the connection on, that she was projecting her you know, anger and upset towards Haley. I mean, about Ellie towards Haley. And I never made that connection before. So it makes sense now. Because I seem to just like always remember Peyton didn't like Haley, but it only really started in this episode. You know, honestly, I keep forgetting about Lucas's heart problem, and then he's like on the court and he's like, oh, my heart, here goes Haley. You okay? Depends. Are you here for good? Are you back? Oh, that was a really heartfelt speech that Peyton's dad gave to her about her mom versus Ellie, her birth mom. Like, that was very good speech. That's like something Jake would have said. Jake older. I do love Haley's hair in this one too. And then I like Deb's hair too. I like Karen's hair. Everybody's hair is really good in this episode and this season. And, you know, I do think it's funny that Deb made the joke about I could use some gin. So here comes in, and like Haley's like, oh, I'll take the gin. Lucas is like, well, we're all out of gin. And the cafe does look so different. And I forgot about that weird head, like bald head eyes thing and like all the changes in the cafe. Like, it is different. Do you think it's funny that Haley's just like, hey, can I just come back and work as a waitress again? Like, she's just trying to jump right back into her old life. Like, just ended the tour. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was such a shift now that I know that, like, the writers are trying to write her off the show. And now it kind of makes sense because now it's like I see it and I'm like, okay. Because she was so into her tour and then she's like, oh, nope, I give it up. You know? And it's like, I love that she wants to be with Nathan again. But, like, my older, wiser self is kind of like, maybe you shouldn't have given it up. Oh my God. I say, oh, maybe you shouldn't have left your tour. And then the whole thing in the bedroom. And she's just like, talk to me. And they're kissing. And he's like, I can't do this. But she's like, always and forever. And he's like, always and forever. I still love you, but I can't trust you. It's like, oh, because then we get this like recap, this little sliver of their chemistry. And it's like, fuck. They're so good. Like, they're so good together. It's like killing me now. It's like, okay, I haven't had a Naylee moment in a while. And now that I get that sliver, I'm like hooked again. It's like, ah! Okay, so I did remember that the papers for divorce were not Nathan and Haley's that Dan is so frantically looking for, but they are Deb and Dan's. And he was very receptive to it. Like, it's fine, Deb. I'm going for a walk. How much for a broken heart and a sigh of regret? Another great line from Brooke. And of course, Haley says more than you want to know. Oh my God. So she was kind of cold to her about, like, you're not staying here at my apartment. And now Brooke walks in and tells Haley, hey, move your stuff into my apartment. Of course, Brooke saying, this way I have money for my new back-to-school wardrobe, and you don't get crabs at a shelter. Oh my God, I forgot. Haley didn't sign the freaking divorce papers. Where her signature is supposed to go, she put, I love you. Oh, that's great. And then Brooke's back to, okay, Haley, I got room for you, but not a lot of pity. You did what you did, and now it's done. Come on in, roommate. Oh, this confessional scene with Dan. Like, yeah, okay. What you call kindness, I call weakness. Oh my God. That is a very good scene. I have to agree with Joy on the podcast. This scene of Dan in the confessional, like asking, is it possible to grant forgiveness for sins yet to be committed? And I do also agree. I really like how they went through kind of these flashes of all the people that he's had run-ins with and he's hurt and he's pissed off. And it's like, ooh, good recap. And it's like, he says, like, when I find out, because he says, I pretended not to remember, but then he says, when I find out. So it's a little confusing because I was like, wait, he remembers? But he's like piecing it together, I guess. And he's like, when I find out the sins I commit, then I'll turn this place to rubble. So angry. Such a good actor, though. Oh, man. Brooke and Lucas, they're kissing on the beach, and all I'm thinking is, don't do it. Okay, the voiceover, like the whole speech from Peyton at the end is great. And oh my God, I totally forgot. Nathan still has his ring. Now, granted, he's wearing it on a necklace around his neck, but I forgot about that. Okay, that makes me happy. Yes, I'm Naylee fan, ride or die. That's what I am. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. And I will see you next week for episode 2 of season 3. What is it? From the edge of the deep green or something? I don't know. Talk about that next week. Bye.